Ladies and gentlemen, the virtual ceremony will begin momentarily. As a courtesy, we ask that you mute your devices. Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for viewing the U.S. Army Partnership for Youth Success PAYS virtual ceremony. The U.S. Army Partnership for Youth Success PAYS program is a strategic partnership between the U.S. Army and a cross-section of private industry, academia, and businesses to include federal, state, and local agencies. The U.S. Army PAYS program guarantees soldiers 5 job interviews and ROTC cadets 2 job interviews and possible employment after the Army. Today's partnership memorandum of agreement between the U.S. Army and Aldevra LLC will be signed by Lieutenant Colonel Ryan Berdner, Battalion Commander, Great Lakes Recruiting Battalion, and Rodney Marshall, CEO, Aldevra LLC. Now I'd like to introduce you to the Great Lakes Recruiting Battalion Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Ryan Berdner. Lieutenant Colonel Ryan M. Berdner is a native of Lancaster, Pennsylvania. He was commissioned as a field artillery officer through the United States Military Academy at West Point in 2001 and received a Bachelor of Science degree in Systems Engineering. Upon completion of the FA Officer Basic Course, Lieutenant Colonel Berdner was assigned to Alpha Battery, 1st Battalion Airborne, 321st Field Artillery Regiment, Fort Bragg, North Carolina, where he served as a fire direction officer, platoon leader, an executive officer, and deployed to Tsar Air Base, Hungary, in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom OIF-1. After redeploying, Lieutenant Colonel Berdner assumed duties as the Headquarters Battery Executive Officer until he was selected to serve as the aide-de-camp to the Commanding General of the 18th Airborne Corps Artillery. While serving as the aide-de-camp, Lieutenant Colonel Berdner deployed to support OIF-1 to 1.5 as the aide to the Deputy Combined Joint Operations Officer, Chief Military Spokesman. Lieutenant Colonel Berdner's awards and decorations include the Bronze Star Medal, Meritorious Service Medal with 4 oak leaf clusters, Joint Service Commendation Medal, Army Commendation Medal, 1 oak leaf cluster, Army Achievement Medal, Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medal, Valorous Unit Award, 1 oak leaf cluster, Meritorious Unit Commendation, National Defense Service Medal, Afghanistan Campaign Medal, Iraq Campaign Medal with 2 campaign stars, Global War on Terrorism Expeditionary Medal, Global War on Terrorism Service Medal, Army Service Ribbon, Overseas Service Ribbon with numeral 3, NATO ISAF Medal, Combat Action Badge, Master Parachutist Badge, Canadian Parachutist Badge, and German Parachutist Badge. Lieutenant Colonel Berdner is married to the former Sarah Beth Kelly from Kansas City, Missouri. They have 1 son, James, 4, and a daughter, Anna Rose, 1.
Hello, and welcome to today's virtual ceremony. It's a great honor to represent not only the Great Lakes Recruiting Battalion, but also the Commanding General, United States Army Recruiting Command, Major General Frank Muth, and the United States Army. Today we celebrate and acknowledge the new partnership between the United States Army and Aldevra LLC. This unique partnership, called Partnership for Youth Success, or PAYS, is a great opportunity to bring America's best and brightest back to our communities to work in outstanding companies like Aldevra LLC. The PAYS program is a strategic partnership between the United States Army and a cross-section of corporations, companies, and public sector agencies. As part of the enlistment process, PAYS soldiers are guaranteed a job interview and possible employment with their PAYS partner of choice upon completion of their term of service, or in the case of Army Reserve soldiers, the completion of their military training. The partnership between our two teams is a natural fit, something Aldevra's CEO, Mr. Rodney Marshall, is already well aware. He is a combat veteran that has served this great nation in the United States Marine Corps during the Persian Gulf War. His extensive connections to Kalamazoo, Lansing, Western Michigan University, and several states across the country, and he has focused on hiring veterans. Mr. Marshall, you are getting the best this nation has to offer to elevate your company to even greater heights.
Thank you, sir. Now I'd like to introduce you to the president of Aldevra LLC, Mr. Rodney Marshall. Mr. Rodney Marshall is the president and CEO of Aldevra. He graduated from Lansing Eastern High School in 1989 and joined the United States Marine Corps, where he proudly served as an infantryman and squad leader in the Persian Gulf War under Task Force Ripper. Marshall was awarded the Rifle Expert Badge, National Defense Service Medal, Combat Action Ribbon, Southwest Asia Service Medal with 2 stars, Kuwait Liberation Medal, and Sea Service Deployment Ribbon. He held various jobs after his military service and graduated from Western Michigan University with a bachelor's degree. He formed Aldevra in 2009 and found his calling as a company primarily focused on government contracting. Aldevra started by providing food service equipment to the military and has transformed into healthcare and staffing, with its primary customers being the VA and the Army. Aldevra has made the Inc. 5000 list of fastest growing privately owned U.S. companies for the last 2 years and has been recognized as a top performing veteran owned company.
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Berdner. I am a Marine Corps veteran, and I'm proud to be so. I'm proud to also stand next to my brothers at arms in the United States Army. It was the Army that gave us, after all, our first opportunity in staffing down in Louisiana. Big shout out to Major Bourgeois for granting Aldevra that contract. What we like to do is we like to give back by interviewing and hiring vets, because we firmly believe in vets helping vets. The PAYS program also allows us to continue to do so. We really appreciate being accepted into this program, and we will proudly do it so. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Marshall. Now we are going to virtually sign the Memorandum of Agreement that solidifies our partnership with Aldevra LLC. We will show the Certificate of Participation and plaque to Aldevra LLC on behalf of the U.S. Army PAYS program. Lieutenant Colonel Berdner will now provide the closing remarks.
Your heights. On behalf of the United States Army, United States Army Recruiting Command, thank you, and we look forward to being on your team.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our ceremony. Thank you for joining us. Please join us in congratulating the U.S. Army's newest PAYS partner, Aldevra LLC.
March along, sing a song with the army of the free. Count the brave, count the true, who have fought to victory. We're the army and proud of our name. We're the army and proudly proclaim. First to fight for the right and to build the nation's might. And the army goes rolling along. Proud of all we have done, fighting till the battle's won. And the army goes rolling along. And it's high, high, hey, the army's on its way. Now the front gate is out and strong. For that the